Hello EFD, how are we doing? I am back, and today I'm bringing you our top 10 clubs who somehow avoided relegation but really did deserve to go down. 10. Sunderland 2012 to 2016. We begin with a team who are one of English football's relegation merchants. In 2003 and 2006, Sunderland twice broke the record for the Premier League's lowest ever points tally, glued to the bottom of the table on both occasions. And aside from the golden eras of Kevin Phillips and Darren Bent on Weir's side, the Black Cats have never really looked like a convincing top-flight club. Somehow, they enjoyed a 10-year stay in England's top division between 2007 and 2017, and fans will probably be debating for years how on earth they did it. Between 2012 and 2016 in particular, the red and white boat was just about staying afloat, as after the sacking of Martin O'Neill in 2013, the club hired 5 managers in just over 3 years. Each season required another great escape from each new coach, and every time they managed it with less than 40 points on board. In 2015, they somehow stayed safe, having won just 7 games all season. But in 2017, Sunderland's luck finally ran out as David Moyes, who else, took them back to the Championship. 9. Athletic Bilbao 2006-07. Forget 10 years, one club who have never been relegated in their history is Athletic Bilbao. This may be a little harsh, as along with Barcelona and Real Madrid, the Basque club have hardly ever even come close to dropping out of the Spanish top flight, but 2007 should probably have been their time. The previous season, Los Leones had been saved by returning coach Javier Clement, who took them from the bottom of the league to 12th, but he was sacked after disagreements with the chairman, Fernando Lamakith. Subsequently, Athletic won just 1 game in the opening 3.5 months of the season, and that came against the lowly Gymnastic. Although results did pick up later in the season, the club were in bad shape, and key forwards Fernando Llorente and Joseba Echeverria managed just 5 league goals between them all season. In the end, they escaped by the skin of their teeth, just 1 point above the drop zone. 6. Hoffenheim 2012-2013. With Julian Nagelsmann masterminding Hoffenheim's route to a first ever Champions League berth, it's easy to forget the German club were a long way off that not so long ago. Cast your mind back to December 2012. The club have just sacked manager Marcus Babbel after he achieved an embarrassing 3 league wins from his first 15 games. And they also crashed out of the DFB Pokal at the first stage to 4th tier team Berliner AK07. With the club from Sinsheim sitting in 16th, they hired Marco Kurz, who did just as badly and was given his marching orders in April. Having been torn apart by Leverkusen and Hamburg in the run-in, Hoffenheim climbed out of the automatic relegation places on the final day with a win over Borussia Dortmund, whose minds were firmly on the up-and-coming Champions League final, understandably. The side won their playoff with ease, but with the leakiest defence in the league and some clearly stupid managerial decisions, Hoffenheim could consider themselves very fortunate. 7. Hull City 2008-2009. We go back to England now, and one of the most ridiculous bad runs of form in recent times. Hull City were promoted to the English top flight for the first time in their history in 2008 and had a dream start, winning 6 of their opening 9 games, including back-to-back away victories over Arsenal and Tottenham. But that was where the fun stopped. Of the remaining 29 league games, the Tigers won just 2, and they went into freefall. On Boxing Day, with the side 4-0 down at half-time against Man City, manager Phil Brown sat the squad down in the centre of the pitch for a humiliating dressing down, in what was surely one of the biggest errors of judgment in football history. But despite losing 6 of their final 7 games, Hull stayed up on the final day as other results went their way. Brown then had the audacity to walk onto the pitch, mic in hand, and sing to the home fans as if he'd masterminded a great escape. You weren't kidding anyone, Phil. 6. Eibar 2014-2015. Now for a team who actually finished in the drop zone, but were helped out of danger by other events. The second Basque team on this list, Eibar were promoted to La Liga for the first time in their history in 2014 and started the season strongly. But, like Hull before them, they collapsed after the halfway stage, disgracefully losing 15 of their final 19 league games. Unsurprisingly, they finished the season in 18th, behind Granada and Deportivo La Coruña, who had superior head-to-head records. But Elche, who sat 5 places above Eibar in 13th, became the first club under new LFP regulations to be relegated due to financial mismanagement, and Eibar was subsequently saved. Lucky bastards. In all fairness to Los Almaros, they have improved season on season since then, so at least they learn from their mistakes. 5. Liverpool, 1908 to 1909. As we all know, a stroke of luck in the fixture run-in can work a treat for those in relegation trouble, and no one knew this better than Liverpool in 1909. With the club facing the drop for the second time in 6 seasons, they were flattened by fellow strugglers Man City 4-0 as the season drew to a close. With 1 game left, they looked set to go down, with a tough tie against league leaders Newcastle certain to kill them off. But luckily, the Magpies had already sealed the title and were knackered after contesting the Charity Shield all the way down in London just 2 days previous. The Reds were able to capitalise on this, winning 1-0 and snatching safety, while Man City succumbed to the drop. 4. Manchester United, 1914-1915. Just 6 years after Liverpool's ever so lucky escape, they became embroiled in controversy with Manchester United, in an incident which kept the Red Devils in the English top flight. Yes, before they became fierce rivals, these two clubs were in cahoots on a match-fixing scandal. A group of players from both sides, led by Liverpool's former United winger Jackie Sheldon, conspired for the match to end 2-0 to the Manchester club. And with the First World War well underway, they thought such an insignificant event would slip by without notice. But they thought wrong, and it quickly became clear what had actually been going on. A year later, all the players involved were banned from playing for life, but as it was seen as solely the players' responsibility, neither club was sanctioned. Although the match had been fixed to make a quick buck at the bookies, the result saved United from relegation, and when the league resumed again in 1919, they happily kept their place in the top flight. 3. Messina, 2005-2006. Sicilian club Messina made an absolute hash of their re-entry into Serie A in the mid-2000s, but were saved by the stupidity of other teams. After promotion to Italy's top flight in 2004, Messina actually had a dream start, beating both Milan clubs, who were absolute giants at the time, and finishing the season a more than respectable 8th place. But they dropped off horrendously the next year, winning just 6 games all season and finishing 9 points off safety. How could they stay up? But alas, they were saved by the Calciopoli match-fixing scandal, which saw would-be champions Juventus relegated to Serie B. Messina was subsequently allowed to stay in the division, but unlike Eibar in 2015, did not learn their lesson. The next year, they were relegated for good, finishing bottom of the league this time, having won even less games. 2. Lecce, 2010-2011. Staying in the south of Italy now, and onto the second big Serie A scandal of recent times. Lecce have been used to getting relegated from the Italian top flight, having gone down 7 times since 1988. But they probably should have had another to add to the list in 2011. Despite going into the final weeks of the season in good form, the Blue and Yellows were far from safe, having shipped more goals than anyone else in the league. And with 1 game to spare, they came up against fierce rivals Bari, who had already succumbed to relegation. The game ended 2-0, helped along by a highly contentious own goal by Bari defender Andrea Mazziello. The result confirmed Lecce's safety with 1 game to go, but an investigation later proved that the match had been fixed, and Mazziello had put the ball in his own net on purpose. By the time the club were punished for their involvement in the scandal the following year, they had already gone down to Serie B, meaning they were relegated again to the Italian 3rd tier. Calm as a bitch. 1. Hamburg SV, 2013-2015. Not too long ago, one of Germany's most historic clubs seemingly did everything they could to get relegated, and somehow still stayed up. In the 2013-14 season, Hamburg SV, a team who hadn't been relegated since the First World War, managed to win just 7 Bundesliga matches, with the likes of Rafael van der Vaart and Hakan Çalhanoğlu in their ranks. Die Rothosen also conspired to win just 5 home games and 2 away. Hamburg's season began with the sacking of manager Thorsten Fink, and his replacement Bert van Marwijk was shown the door just 144 days later, after a 7-game losing streak, with just 3 wins from 15 games. Mirko Slomka came in and was just as bad, and after 5 straight defeats at the end of the season, was lucky to avoid automatic relegation, scraping into the playoff position with a frankly embarrassing 27 points. In said playoff, Hamburg again did the bare minimum, winning the two-legged tie on away goals. The next season, the club did much the same, and despite a better points return, were back in the relegation playoff. This time, they needed an injury time equaliser and an extra time winner to see off Karlsruhe in the second leg. At the time of recording, Hamburg are in a much similar position in 2017. Could their ridiculous run in the top flight be about to come to an end? Or will they cling on once again? So those were our top 10 teams who should have been relegated but weren't. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And before you guys go, why not check out Carling In Off the Bar's pre-game show of West Brom Chelsea at 6:30 live on Soccer AM's Facebook page, and post-match show at 10:30 on Soccer AM's Facebook page. The link is in the description below. As always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.